Hello to all my friends out there, and this is Practical Prepper Rhoda Stone. Should we prepare for a recession? Should we prepare for a disaster? Oh, and why? Okay, in Nebraska, we had floods, bad floods. We all know about the floods. Out here in California is a far ways away from Nebraska, but there was $440 million crop loss. That's what they're reporting. I'd say that's probably conservative. So say $1.5 billion. 400 million cattle loss. I'd say that's probably conservative. Say $1.5 million. So say 1 billion. That's conservative. 2,000 homes lost. Where are these people? That's a lot of people, you know? And then here comes four killed and hundreds displaced. 2,000 homes destroyed, but hundreds displaced. Okay. Where are these hundreds living that were living in the 2,000 homes destroyed? Okay, so all these are conservative estimates. And so here is the bad part. These floods could last all spring. Okay, so let's say the floods will last all spring, and so these millions will mount. They won't just stop. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse because the ground is not saturated. The ground is covered with like flood-like lakes. Okay, so we know there's these massive floods. We know there's been losses of crops and cattle, and we know it's going to keep going on all spring. So what we should do is suspend all spending until after spring. See what happens. Don't be stupid. Don't say everything's going to be fine. It always has been and it always will be. Maybe ultimately, okay, so these were $1, but it couldn't hurt to suspend all spending except for a little food and stockpiling food. You know, when I think it was no accident, I was in those food banks. You don't want to end up in a FEMA camp, so you want to say to yourself, do I have a decent vehicle I could live in if needs be? Okay, when we had the disasters in Houston, people were sent all over the place from the bad areas. A lot of them were sent here, and they're probably going to be sent here too. Okay, so we know we have all these floods. Not good. Okay, there's a high rate of credit card debt in our population. We know that. You know, in the Dave Ramsey thing, it says take 18 months to pay your credit cards if you have to. I think that's a long time. It depends how much the debt is, you know. But you want to get out of this with your credit if you can. If there is a massive default, if there is a massive foreclosures, you know, you want to get out of this. I've been in really bad recessions before. One time I went to the bank Friday afternoon, this is a long time ago. I said I want to take $3,000 out They said, we can't give you that much money on a Friday afternoon. I said, it's in the vault. The vault is locked. I said, unlock it. I need the money. I wanted to, they used to have this thing you could buy a house, you know, with no money down. And so they wouldn't, so I had my dad come down there. Now this is over a lousy $3,000, right? We got the money. I went to the house and I said to the guy, I have $3,000 in my purse. I mean, the guy was cash poor. I don't care he lived in a nice area. And he looked at his wife. This was Friday afternoon. And he said, you know, the kids want to go to Disneyland. They took the money. I took the house. That's how little money back when. So I say you want to hoard gas, cash, food, and water. And you need a weapon. Okay, now another thing is, I mentioned this before. So, okay, so we have this high debt. We could have a massive default on credit. Remember Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? You know, they could take the houses again. Yes, they could. This happened to my mother-in-law's house. It wasn't even, when it started, the house was worth $850,000. We tried to wait it out. Finally, it ended up about $400,000. So it's probably, you know, so okay. So they could very well do that again, and I wouldn't doubt it, if that's coming. And then, you know, what people usually do is they dump their houses when the houses are worth nothing. Okay, so now, a lot of these businesses are moving from shopping centers to doing business online. Okay, just in the shopping center, you know, where I do my walking. The Sears left. This week, Charlotte Russe left. Forever 21 is left. And really, the standard of the shopping center is pretty lowly. Shops in there would have no business being in there years ago. It used to be a pretty nice shopping center. Now it's not a pretty nice shopping center. I worked in another shopping center a couple years ago, a nice shopping center. And when I worked in there, I became aware that a lot of those businesses were anything but impressive. I mean, they were scroungy too, let's be honest. So, okay, as these businesses move from shopping centers to online, that's going to create job loss. So, you know, there will be massive job losses. We know that. So we know there's the flood. We know there's the high credit card debt. We know there's a shopping center. You know, they're moving out of the shopping centers, doing business online. So when you look at the employment, you could say, well, there'll be massive job loss. Income versus hours worked. Is everybody working full time? No. Business sales. Well, some of them are probably doing pretty well. Some of them not. Gross domestic product. I don't know about that one. So, okay, so you're in your house. You're saying to yourself, okay, there's little to nothing I can do about it. I can be an ostrich. I can, you know, I can bury my head in the sand and I can refuse to worry about it. Or I can suspend all spending until after spring. You know, let's just see what's going to happen. Except for food. You know, you have to have food. And, you know, pay down your real property, like your cars. Make sure your cars run good, for sure. And then try to earn a little extra money. And, you know, so you'll have some cash money. So, in my opinion, you should prepare. Right now, I'm not saying have a panic attack. I'm just saying slowly but surely move in the direction of being prepared. Be prepared for anything. You know, I told you guys I had the knock on my door. The owner wants his apartment back. People end up on the street when they rent from people like that. They really do. Or, you know, anything can happen. I'm sorry, I worked in these places. I'm giving half a year job to my friend. And the response from me would always be, she can have the whole job because I quit. You know? I'm giving half a year hours to someone else. That could happen. The cost of living could go way up so that your dollar doesn't buy as much. That could happen. Gas could go up very well. Food could go up. Gas could go up. The food banks could run low on food. When I was in there, I said to myself, if this is what they give you now, what's going to happen when the food runs low? And so if you don't have much food in your house, get the food now. You know, go get that food and pile your house up while it's still there, while you can still get it. And take precautions that you don't want to end up in a FEMA camp. I mean, where are these people living in, these hundreds of people living in thousands of homes? You know what I'm saying? Where are these people? I'm pretty sure it's pretty bad. It's going to bankrupt the farmers for sure. So, okay, you guys, I think you should prepare. If you might be saying, I don't know how to prepare, well, stay with me and then just do what I do. Mainly what I do is I spend very little money, almost no money. I spend some money on food, you know, to make sure. And lately I've been buying some really cheap food too. One of the main things I would say to stockpile is canned milk and food so that you can make bread. And say to yourself, well, if I can't get any fresh meat and I don't have any canned meat and I don't have any cheese, that's not going to be good either. And so you might be saying, well, I'm just going to eat beans and rice. Well, you can eat beans and rice, but I would give the matter of the meat thing some thought. I'm going to be giving the meat thing some thought myself. I'm not going to be giving the milk thing some thought and the cheese thing some thought because I'm just going to buy it. And right now, as we speak, I will show you. This is something I think you guys might want to consider, and some of my followers are. It's almost done. That is, this is yogurt. Really easy to make. Really easy to make. So, you know, if you have, now once you make your yogurt, you can, it's not quite done, but it's getting there. It tastes really good when you take it right out of the oven. So, stockpile milk and meat and cheese. The cheese, let me show you the cheese while it's on my mind. You don't want to run out of, I stockpile powder milk too from Walmart, but I found this cheese from Aldi's to be about the best price. And you don't want to run out of oil. I stockpiled lard because it's cheaper, the cheapest. So say to yourself, okay, what might I be very, very miserable if I didn't have any, you know? And start preparing now. Just suspend all spending and start preparing and keep your car full of gas. And keep yourself some cash. So, okay, you guys, God bless you all.